United States of America is the most successful nation the world has ever known. I think that's largely because we're the freest nation. Humans cannot reach their potential, cannot realize their dreams unless they're free.
If prosperity were easy, everybody around the world would be prosperous. If freedom were easy, everybody around the world would be free. If security were easy, everybody around the world would be secure. They are not. None of this is going to be easy. But this is the United States of America. It takes an extraordinary effort. It takes extraordinary commitment. It takes extraordinary strength. The Valley Forge wasn't easy. Going to the moon wasn't easy. Settling the West wasn't easy. We are the American people. We have seen difficulties before, and we always overcome them. This is about rolling up our sleeves. I mean, we're going to have some differences, but at Americans putting our head down and getting it done.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's our Friday, your Thursday. It is the end of the week for us. Actually, it's just getting started. I just got a call. I'm going to be on WCBM tomorrow morning from 9 to 12. So my boy's going to be on.
Wayne's going to let us know what time we're supposed to call in.
Well, my boy's going to be
Can't
on.
you do it at like 7:30?
I know, right? I know. I'm taking over for Kim Klasick's program tomorrow on Friday. But we're still broadcasting on Sunday from 4 to 5 too. So
That's her show too, isn't it?
yeah. No.
That's what it said on there.
From 4 to 5, it just says
The last time that we were on.
Oh, really?
That website said it was the Kim Klasick show.
At 4 to 5, yeah.
Whenever you were on. When you were on, it said that when I tuned in.
Oh, okay. No, they changed. Okay, well, they want to change it soon.
Are you stealing Kim's spot?
No.
Wayne, you old dog, you.
I don't think so.
We like Kim.
I knew something was up when he played his intro, that this was the Wayne Dupree show.
Well, hey, they did tell me though. They were like, "This is your show. You can play whatever." I was like, "Really? I could do that?" Okay. I mean, I
recognize that.
I brought everything in the kitchen sink. I even brought the bumpers to come back in. You know, I was like, "Yeah, okay, all right." Ladies and gentlemen, the Godfather of Conservative Radio, Mr. Hutch Bailey Jr.
Just coming from a live event in the green room, acting the School of Fool Fish.
Yeah,
but it is our Friday and your Thursday, so we're allowed.
Yeah. And also acting with us in this pool of schoolfish, Mr. Jason Robinson from Muslim Soda.
Hey, top of the morning or afternoon, everybody. Can't wait till the special lawfare edition of the Wayne Dupree show today.
Ladies and gentlemen, so happy to have you. You know what, too? Real quick, I want to take just a couple seconds now. We are broadcasting on the Red Voice Media Network. We broadcast there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My daughter's like, "I thought you stopped at 1 o'clock, girl." That was years ago.
That's what was in the contract, but
we're kind of chatty. I don't know if you know that about us.
When I met my husband, Chuck, he was famous for doing things like this.
Now he's in his 80s, and he's still doing this for fun. And since we live on a ranch, he's up at sunrise doing things like this. Isn't that right, honey?
That's right.
He's stronger, can work out longer, keeps up on his ranch chores, and has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids.
I've made just one change. I still feel like I'm in my 50s.
I've started doing this too, and I've never felt better. I feel 10 years younger, and my body looks leaner, and I have energy all day. Chuck made a video that explains everything. Watch it. It'll change the way you think about your health. Watch this video.
Watch the video. You won't believe how simple it is.
That is chuckdefense.com/Wayne. Make sure that you check that out. Speaking about somebody that needs a little fixing, I guess, is your boy Mitch. Honestly, I sat up there and I mean, you believe me, we could have come at this at all sides, man. Seriously, we could have shut this place down. We could have had jokes until 2032 if we really wanted to.
If it was funny.
Yeah, my mom has had a couple of these sitting at the table where she didn't respond. Now, I'm not saying he had a stroke. I don't know what he had, but because he was able to walk off and stuff like that. Who was the guy who walked him off in the
Barrasso?
He's
the
a
guy
doctor.
the guy that needs to be primaried from Wyoming.
Yeah, he's a doctor too. He, you know what? Too. Let me show you something too, because I think, yeah, I know conspiracy stuff and everything. Look, I was watching it over and over again, and let's see, where is it at? I swear, I think they knew something was going to happen.
Apparently, there was a lot more footage than that. In other words, he did say some things before that moment. So maybe it was something, maybe his mannerisms while he was talking, maybe he sounded like Biden.
Yeah, we grabbed a 5-minute clip and just because I wanted to see, because it was such a short clip and, you always want to know. And I mean, he was talking and he was not doing well. I mean,
I like it when I get it right. I didn't even see the clip.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I saw the one, but I didn't see the 5 minutes
the short
before.
one, like the 30 or 60.
Yeah. But I wondered, did he just start talking and apparently he had been talking for a while.
He had been talking for a little bit and then it just like he froze and he had some sort of seizure almost. And then it was just like the robot, they hit the off button, just.
Well, how did it sound when he was talking?
Whoa.
It sounded like an old person who had a stroke, to be honest, kind of slurry, not very sharp. I mean, here's the sad thing. It's the same position we took with Fetterman. You can't serve in Congress if you don't have all your mental faculties. Like, that's just bad for the country. I mean, joking aside,
And you have to be brutally honest about it.
Right.
It's not about Mitch McConnell. It's about the United States.
Correct.
Right.
And something else that this opens up, and I'll shut up in a second. But you look at where we are right now. Mitch McConnell, 81. Dianne Feinstein, 90. Grace Napolitano, 87. Bill Pascrell, 86. Maxine Waters, 85. Steny Hoyer, 84. Nancy Pelosi, 83. Jim Clyburn, 73. Danny Davis, 81. And they're talking about Trump's too old.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need age limits in that body. Somebody needs to stand up. Both parties need to come together and they need age limits.
But here's the thing. It was never supposed to be a career.
No.
Right.
Job. It was never supposed to be a career job. These people are getting certificate, 20-year, 30-year, 40-year certificates for being. You were never supposed to be there that long. You were supposed to go there, serve a couple turns, go back home, and honestly, I think that's where the country starts stagnating. Is when because if you don't get new ideas, if you don't get new people in there all the time, because things change, technology changes, the way the world changes, and we have to change. But if you have the same person in there, you remember now. The Democrats were in there for 40 years. How many of those people were in leadership for 40 years? You know what I'm saying? This is McConnell. Before I show this, I want Joni Ernst. Watch Joni Ernst.
Mhm.
Watch Joni Ernst because
These are the Decepticons. Everybody you see in this clip, these are the enemy.
yeah.
Yep.
I watched her and I was like, she acted like she knew something was up.
It was like
anyway.
a nurse coming in.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
Operation and a string of
Okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Let's go back.
Go ahead, John.
I'll take it. Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
That's sad. And honestly, what would now if he wasn't right before he went out there? That's on them too, because what would have happened if he would have dropped right there?
Right.
Seriously. Okay. And again, I'm not sure if it was a stroke or whatnot, but he clutched on to that.
It doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter what it was. He's incapacitated.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. And I said yesterday immediately when I saw it, he's got to go. And
how about what we were talking about before that came out? We were talking about that on yesterday's show.
Right.
About Mitch McConnell being so old and
yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
right after the show, you sent me that thing.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody ages different. There's some spry 70 years old, and there's some really worn out 70 years old. Same at 80, same at 90. But you know, when people get in that age bracket, you know, you can go off a cliff fast. You know, I look at my father-in-law that we just lost.
Fast, you can go in like.
Oh God, I remember my father-in-law we just lost a couple months ago. And it was like a year ago, he was there. He could go out to dinner with us on Sundays. 6 months later, he couldn't even leave the old folks' home. He was no longer there mentally. 6 months after that, you're wheeling him around in a chair. And it's, I mean, this is troubling that, I mean, he's one of the top 5 most powerful people in Washington right now.
He's the longest serving senator in like U.S. history.
Right.
Senate leader. Not senator, leader.
Yeah, and these people they shouldn't be in these. I mean, he shouldn't be serving in the Senate.
What happened to our dignity? What happened?
Right.
Why didn't he?
Right.
Why isn't he the one that said it's time for me to step down? The same thing with Fetterman, the same thing with Feinstein, and all those people I mentioned. It's like we've lost all freaking integrity in this country. Our men are just feckless anymore when it comes to these people in politics.
Oh my God! If you've seen Feinstein, she looks like a corpse getting
she's
rolled around.
horrible.
Oh! And then last night when I was doing some research, come to find out allegedly, because it wasn't reported, but somebody on the plane said that McConnell fell on his face.
Yeah, at the airport.
At the airport,
and they were moving him around in a wheelchair after that. None of that was reported. None of that was reported.
Right.
And he's a Republican. This tells you all you need to know about the Uniparty.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. There's honestly, you know what? You know what? You don't have to. You should tell us, but you don't have to tell us. But at least
we'll figure
be
it out.
Real with his family and with him, and say you can't do this no more. If you're falling like that, and then after yesterday, I mean he clutched that thing. He clutched that podium. Like if he let it go, he was gonna go.
Yeah, he couldn't have walked by himself away from that. He needed to be led.
No.
And the thing that really gets me about all this. These are the people in that clip are the ones leading us to World War III.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Well, and that's what's sad. Whatever happened didn't happen. Like anybody with half a brain can look and just say he's incapacitated.
Yeah.
Where's his loving Chinese wife?
Right.
She was all up there and protecting him at the restaurant when he got punked out.
That's true. That is true. That's true. And I mean, I'm short. And you know, he showed up. He showed up today. You know, I don't know. I don't know what they had him on, but
he said you got to watch out for them sandbags.
Yeah, that's what's funny. Some of these old folks, don't you wonder, like what, like Biden in like certain public appearances, it's like he's on coke or something. He gets up there like, and it's like, dude, you were asleep like 20 minutes ago.
That's what
I just want to know what it is. Like, I could use some of that. I was kind of dragging this
a
morning.
lot of us can use that.
I'm like, I
That's
need
the
some of
good
that
stuff,
Joe
man.
Biden juice.
That's the good stuff. I mean, yesterday.
Right.
See, you got to have fun with it. See, the Democrats can learn from us.
Right.
You guys can learn from us. You don't have to curse every time you get on here.
No,
you don't have to. You don't have to be all stern and all these right-wing radicals. Come and make fun of us. We're damn sure going to make fun of you.
Right.
Look, yesterday. Yesterday.
And a string of
A good aid, and this morning he's like this.
well, the president called to check on me. I told him I got sandbagged.
Oh, nice. How are you feeling now, sir? How are you feeling now?
I'm fine.
Have you seen a doctor? Are you going to see a doctor?
Any idea what happened?
Huh?
Any idea what happened?
I'm fine. That's the important
Dehydrated?
part.
Nothing happened.
You said, yeah, I know.
I'm fine. You
I'm
see him
fine.
shuffling? He don't even look like him. I didn't even think that was him.
Yeah, I was like, dang it. Or, hey, we could go the way of the conspiracy, and they just went and got the other clone and brought the other clone out.
You ever notice when something crazy medically happens to you like that, you look different when it's over?
Yeah.
Like when somebody has a heart attack or something, like my neighbor. Can't stand this guy, man. He used to walk his little dog in front of me, and I didn't see him for about a year. And then I saw him the other day, say, oh, something happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, he don't look the same. You know what I mean? That's the way McConnell looks. Biden's the same way. When Biden got totally dementiaized, he looks different than he used to.
Yeah. Even
Although,
his
I'll tell you
earlobes
what,
are different.
The shape of the head.
Yeah.
If we're going conspiracy theory, I'll say Mitch is in on it. And he just like stood up there and acted like he froze up. So that's all anybody talks about because there's so much real news going on. Those border hearings were disastrous for the Democrats and Mayorkas. You got the Hunter Biden plea deal, which is like the most tragic thing ever. You know, Sam Bankman-Fried, they let him out of all the political charges today. So
some girl murdered her father over a missed hair appointment and she walked.
Right.
She poured acid on him, I think. It was some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That will be, she probably wrote white too. That will be on the ID channel in about 4 or 5 months. So
yep.
You know what? Now, I mean, honestly, I really think that happened to him because, you know, he was stiff as a board. He didn't move.
Plus, you ain't heard from him for a year.
Yeah. And he's been, we're set on the show. Where the hell is Mitch? Oh. But I will say this, and this isn't a conspiracy. You can take this to the bank. And for all you out there that said that I'm being insensitive, I'm just telling the truth. You mess with Donald Trump, and somehow, some way, it's going to come back on you.
Right?
Am I right?
Ask Pfizer.
Thank you very much. You mess with Donald Trump. I mean, everybody. It might take time, but everybody that has messed with that man has gotten it. Either they lost their job, either they're
going to get it.
Some kind of mental or physical ALT or somebody in the family. And look, and I ain't wishing nothing bad on anybody. I'm just telling you.
There's a phrase for it. It's called divine intervention.
Yes.
We're trying to take this free republic down, and we're going to get you. And we don't even have to do it. We'll just watch it happen.
And I was going to say too, can we just talk about Trump's second term? You know, the left and the never Trump Republicans are like, he's just going to go in with retribution to blow stuff up. And
yes.
Exactly why we're voting for him.
All those people that didn't go to jail in the last 10 years, that's all getting ready to happen.
Right.
Hopefully, but yeah, you're right.
Hopefully, yeah. And there's going to be gallows involved.
That's right. As a matter of fact, I will vote for him 4 and 5 times if that's the way that it's going to be. If he's going to take a freaking axe to it, yes, I will vote. I will visit 4 or 5 different states and go and vote.
I saw something on Twitter today, getting ready for the show, that like really, really captured the way I feel. The guy's name is DC Drano. I'm sure you guys follow.
Oh, I love Drano.
DC Drano said that they're trying to lock President Trump up so he dies in prison. And what does the GOP do? The 5 people run against Donald Trump. Instead of standing behind him and pointing this out for the constitutional crisis that it is, they run against the guy. Screw all those guys. Everybody running against Trump, screw them. That's the way I feel. And I'm sorry if I messed up any opportunities or whatever, but that's the way I feel.
Well, I think you're spot on. And so much of this stuff is coming out. So the Hunter Biden plea deal, I got to just rant on that. So they go to court. The Department of Justice, we already knew it was a sweetheart deal. And the judge starts asking questions. And so there's 2 type of deals you can do. One is like a public deal where you spell everything out and that gets sent to the judge and the public gets to see it. And the other one's a little more private. But you can't have it be as overwhelming or as all-inclusive. So they did the private one, so the public was never going to see it. And in there, they basically said, we're going to put him in the diversion program for the tax charges and the gun charges. And if he completes a diversion program, we're not going to pursue any of the legal stuff on his laptop, the foreign agent registration, all that stuff. And thank God there was a smart judge, because she's like, what about all these other charges? And they're like, oh, he can be charged for those, right? And they're like, well, yeah. And then the Hunter Biden team's like, well, that's not what we agreed on. What are you guys talking about? And then we would have never seen his diversion program thing that excluded him from being prosecuted. And the Department of Justice did that. Like, they already let him off on the frickin' gun charges. He's getting way off soft on the tax charges. But all the other charges, there's like 5 or 6 other things they can charge him for. All that would be prison time, they were going to give that away. That's the Department of Justice.
And here's the thing. Here's how stupid they are. It was a binding plea,
right?
Which means that the judge had no choice but to sentence exactly what was in there. She had no latitude at all. And the dumbasses told him it's an ongoing investigation.
Right.
Now, what judge would sign off on that?
Right.
So I say that it's all this and he gets all this and they come up with bodies in the rest of the thing. So he doesn't get prosecuted. That's crazy to think she was going to do that. And I'll tell you the most important part about the whole thing. They tried to keep the foreign agent part out of it. That is now back in play. When that comes up, that ties directly. The question is, who were you a foreign agent for and who benefited? It goes right to President Biden.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
and this is the Department of Justice. This is exactly what we've been talking about the uniparty protecting the political class. And then this morning it comes out, Sam Bankman-Fried, that crypto creep that screwed people out of trillions of dollars, whatever the number was. They're dropping all the charges around his illegal political contributions. That's the Department of Justice. So that court case would have been the part that exposed all of his dirty dealings with all the politicians. They dropped that. So that isn't even going to be investigated or ever presented in court. The American people will never see the corruption because of your Department of Justice. And so when we talk about, and I mean, that's not just because he gave to Democrats, it's because he gave to the political class. It's not left versus right. It's us versus them.
And just back to Biden for just a second. One of the reasons you can tell that the whole thing has changed, it was on ABC News, NBC News, CBS News, CNN.
You said yesterday.
That's what I mean. Yesterday, when this broke, it came on and it was right back on this morning.
Yep.
That's death.
And with the Sam Bankman-Fried, situation. Miles Guo is still in jail.
Right.
Miles
think of
Guo
that
is still in
plea.
jail.
Think of that plea for Hunter Biden, and Miles Guo is still in prison.
Right.
Still in prison. Right. Right.
Yeah, they're both accused of financial stuff. Guo sits rotten in jail with a muzzle. Sam Bankman-Fried, they keep dropping charges.
Every week.
These charges are all the things that, as Americans, we should want to see. Like, let's see the seedy underbelly of how much. Let's see the emails he had between politicians and him, and let's see all that.
Every week.
The pus is coming out. We're going to see more than we want to see, I think.
Oh, right.
These things tend to take on a mind of their own. You know, and they know that. That's why they tried to cover it up so badly.
Well, it's going to reach a point that even people on the left, the right's all mad, you know, other than the establishment, right? But the normal people on the left, there's a point where they're going to say, like, wait a second. Like, I mean, the Hunter Biden thing is just pure political privilege. That used to make people in the Democrat Party mad when elitists got let off on things.
Can you imagine how many leftists know people or people in their family that are in prison on gun charges?
Right.
You're not mad, man? That doesn't tick you off? Come on now.
Yeah, and those never get plea bargained down.
No.
Like, if you're charged with a felony gun charge, like, you're done. Oh, we're fired up.
Before we go to break, I'm thinking about 2016. I'm thinking about 2020. And I'm thinking about 2024. I don't think there was one instance where Donald Trump fired 1/3 of his staffers.
Fired Bannon and Gorka, but you know.
Well, but as president, he fired him though. I mean that, you know, and I did mean to say this. I did mean to put this in there yesterday, and I couldn't get it because maybe I was laughing so hard. But yeah, he did go after Bannon, and I almost cried. I almost cried for the boy because, you know, you can only beat a corpse so far down to the ground. And
how about the loyalty though, man? The dude, like the next day, started the war room. You know, it's like,
well,
that's right there. I mean, if there was ever a guy to, you know, let back in on the team, that guy never said a bad word about Trump. Not one bad word.
Right.
Well, I don't know about the next day. I don't know about the next day. He came back, but I prayed. I was like, Lord, please stop. Please take that hatchet out of President Trump's hand because he's killing him.
He is.
He's lighting him up, and
he broke Breitbart over it. Breitbart's never been the same.
I know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But it was like
he spell over there anymore.
It was like he beat him up and killed him, buried him, dug him back up, and beat him up and buried him again. It's
and
like
then fired him.
Dog, man.
You got no income. You're out.
I mean, I was like, look, I don't know if he ever gonna work again. Good God.
I'm just joking, Roy. But Bannon came out and said, "What's your name, Miles? How you doing?" Let's do something.
Yeah. And actually that's where
that was a good thing, by the way. That was a good thing. That wasn't a dig.
That's where everything started to pick back up.
Yeah,
because I think Bannon and Miles,
they tried to arrest him real quick.
I know, didn't they? They were like, wait a minute. We see them come together to create something.
Those two guys were both on the docket. It wasn't just Miles.
I know.
I don't know how the hell Bannon got out.
Wow. Ask those other two that went to jail.
Right.
We don't know either. We don't know either.
Turnkey, close 87.
Well,
hey, go ahead.
I was going to say just one thing, too, to address. A couple people in the chat were like, where did you get those facts? If the judge yesterday signed the Hunter Biden plea deal, those documents would have never become public because they would have been sealed.
Yeah, come on, guys. You can follow it now. It's on ABC.
Yeah, it's on ABC. It's on, like, the documents, because they didn't sign the agreement, they have public documents.
Yeah.
And that's what's so important that the judge did. If she would have just signed off on that, none of us would ever know what was in those documents.
Yeah, CNN is pitching a hissy fit over it. I mean,
they're losing their mind.
Yeah, they're snorting. Fire's coming from their nose.
What, anti-Biden or anti-DOJ? Or I personally, I just read
They
stories.
They can't believe that it all fell apart.
Oh yeah, even Harris Faulkner.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of her.
Yeah,
literal gasp.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, think of the courage it took for that judge.
Oh boy,
to not pencil whip that. Yeah. And you don't think that judge is on a hit list now? Because she stood up to the Department of Justice. Like, you guys put together this crappy deal. She got it in the court record, a document that would have never been in where any of us could have seen it.
And let's remember, she was approved by the 2 Democrat senators of Delaware.
Right.
So enough with the Trump-appointed judge. Your senators approved her.
Well, and judges
that's
should
the way
do
it
that.
works.
That's
If it's
the
in
point.
a state like that, they have deference to those 2 senators in that state in Delaware,
right,
where she sits. They could have vetoed it.
I got to show y'all something before we go to break.
Wayne got the Wi-Fi?
No, Wayne's showing you what Mitch McConnell looked
like. Judge Mahalchek, you remember a case called Yentzer v. Potter County?
I have a recollection that I presided over that case. I don't know if I recall the details of it.
Okay. And you were reversed, is that right?
I believe that was a case that I issued. I was a magistrate judge in that role and in the referral role on it, and it was reviewed by the district court, yes.
And you were reversed, right?
I don't recall in that case if the report and the recommendation was adopted in full or not adopted in full, but yes.
The higher court said you incorrectly analyzed qualified immunity and you incorrectly cited the 11th Amendment. Do you remember a case called Myers v. Clinton County Correctional Facility?
I recall that case as well.
And you were reversed in that case too, weren't you?
I believe it was adopted in part, yes.
Do you remember a case called Dennis v. Sheridan?
Yes, I believe I recall that case as well.
And you were reversed in that case too?
I believe that R&R was not adopted in full, correct? Yes.
Okay, but you were reversed.
It was not adopted, yes,
Is that
by
the
the
same
district
thing
court.
as being reversed?
It's a different. The district court declined to adopt the report and
The higher
recommendation.
court
in
said
full.
you were wrong.
The district court disagreed with my report. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember a case called Shania v. East Pennsboro?
I love Kennedy.
Yeah, the Shanias are pro se plaintiffs who have brought a number of cases, so I'm not sure which one you're referring to. But yes.
I'm just curious. You were reversed in that case too, were you not?
In part, yes.
Okay. Do you remember a case called Spanier v. Libby?
Yes, I do.
The president of Pennsylvania State University was convicted of covering up child sex abuse crimes. And you let him go on a habeas corpus petition. And the Third Circuit reversed you, is that right?
I directed that a new trial should be held with a different jury instruction, and the Third Circuit disagreed and found that he had received the due process he was entitled to. Yes.
Well, the Third Circuit said you failed to cite, analyze, or properly apply the relevant case law. You were reversed, right?
The Third Circuit reversed my decision. Yes.
Okay. Do you remember a case called Hassel v. Centric Bank?
I vaguely recall that case. Yes, Senator.
You were reversed, weren't you?
I believe the district court failed to adopt my
Is that the same as reversed?
my recommendation. Yes.
Do you remember a case called Ramsey v. Amtrak?
Yes, I do.
And the higher court reversed you in that case too, didn't they?
The district court concluded that I was correct in finding that the petitioner did not pay a filing fee, and where I had recommended that the case be dismissed, he granted the petitioner 30 days to correct that.
So you were reversed in part?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember a case called McCracken v. Fulton County?
Yes, I do.
You were reversed in that case too, weren't you?
I believe that was in part, yes.
You remember a case called Bird v. Britain?
Clip's only halfway over.
And were you reversed in that case?
In part, yes.
Okay. Do you remember a
Let me
You
flip
remember
the
a case
page.
called Allen v. Lackawanna County Board of Commissioners?
It's all Pennsylvania.
I believe I recall that case, Senator.
And you
I'm not
were
sure.
reversed in that case too, weren't you?
I believe I was reversed in part in that case, yes.
You remember a case called Daniels v. Capital One Bank?
Yes.
And I believe you were reversed in that case too?
She's cursing the
I
internet.
believe it was,
Yeah.
yes, I believe so.
I was gonna say,
Do you
at
remember
what
a
point
case
does she
called
just say,
Downey
"Okay,
v.
I'm out of here"?
Pennsylvania
That's what I just
Department
said.
of
Never
Corrections?
mind, man. Never mind.
Yes, I
That's about
recall
three
that
of them.
case.
Thank you for considering
And
me.
were you reversed in that case?
Yes, I believe I was.
Remember a case called Reassured v. Wetzel?
I vaguely recalled that case, yes, sir.
And were you reversed by a higher court there too?
I believe that our report and recommendation was not adopted in full.
Okay, I don't have time to finish this list. I mean, it's longer than King Kong's arm here.
Attention
Reversed on
Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
When I invented MyPillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size MyPillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at MyPillow,
thanks, America! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wayne Dupree podcast here on Red Voice Media. You can check us out on this awesome network every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love doing it. Hutch Bailey Jr., J-Rod, Jason Robinson from Muslim Soda, and our awesome young brother from the new federal state of China, Mr. Roy Guo. What's up, Roy?
Hey guys, hi Wayne, hi Hutch, Jason. So nice, such a pleasure to be here again.
Glad to see you one more time. Love that background though. That background is banging.
That's a shirt too, boy.
Yeah, that's a nice shirt, man.
I was gonna wear a Hawaiian shirt, and I'm like, I'm totally doing that next time Roy's on.
Thank you so much.
You putting us to shame, man.
Is that a Miles Go shirt?
This is actually designed by Miles, and the idea is from Miles, yes. And this is a G Fashion brand.
Oh, man.
Yeah, what's that name of that company? Is fashion brand?
It's called G Fashion. You can go to gfashion.com. And actually, this is one of the clothes from Buddhist collection. So it's pretty nice. Mm-hmm. It's a pure silk. It's made in Italy. So yeah.
gfashion.com.
Yep.
You got that, ladies and gentlemen? gfashion.com. Go there. Actually, I've seen I've seen a lot of stuff that they have over there, and it is really nice. They have things for men, women, young teens, and everything. So, and I know, and the proceeds go back into the new federal state of China. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, what you're doing is you're helping take down the CCP. So that's that's one of the main reasons to go to gfashion.com. Roy, listen, last week we were talking about the Minister of Defense, talking about he was gone. We didn't know where he was, and silence and stuff. And then a new one gets put out there
right after the show.
Right after the show is over, a new one. What happened? I mean, is the other guy okay, or is he still disappeared, or what?
Yeah, definitely. And also, look, for the past whole month, almost 30 days, I mean, this guy, Qin Gang, is gone missing, and all the media and people and countries even like waiting and asking for a simple answer. Like, where is this guy? Where is this very important guy doing this foreign affair and so-called representing China or Chinese people, although we know that's totally false. This is also self-evident after this happened. So they cannot even answer what happened to this foreign minister. But actually, Miles exposed 11 months ago, like why Qin Gang would be disappeared or even executed, right? Because he was planning to become like marry President Xi's daughter, and he divorced his wife, and then the whole plan didn't work out. And then she actually appointed him as a foreign minister, and then Miles said he had to be disappeared or silenced.
That's Gambino level.
Because he knows too much. Actually, actually, we have a really nice translated clip where Miles actually said it word by word in the clip. Actually, you can go to NFSC Speak on Twitter and check it out. We have a very nice short clip, and you know like what Miles said exactly at that time. It was 11 months ago, but Miles predictably completely right, just like always.
And he doesn't predict like vague either. He's like,
yeah.
Roy, I wonder, something dropped the other day from Project Veritas, and it looks like there was a CCP data leak, and the source exposes Chinese web server detailing CCP 5-year plans for bioengineering, military technology, and more. And it looks like the 8 gigabytes that they made available, it looks like the documents are in Mandarin. And I wonder if you guys have been able to go through those at all. And was it anything new? I love the fact that we're starting to get allies now. You know, I mean, I'm not a real big Veritas fan after what they did, but this is existential, and I'll take anybody I can get. I just wonder if you guys were able to go through that. Is anything new in there that you didn't know, or is there anything new that we should know?
Well, actually, not so much that we didn't know, because when you actually, yes, I went through the list, and I've been looking for something new. Although the incidents probably some of them we probably don't know before, but actually the tactics, the methods, the plan, that's something the whistleblower movement and Miles been exposing for the past 6 years. Right. So, for example, the infiltration of compromising the key official personnel, developing the COVID-19. Last time we talked about 13579 plan, how they're planning to develop this one bioweapon, and then after 9 months they develop the vaccine to injure the whole world, to kidnap the whole world, and wait for the perfect timing to attack Taiwan, to wage a war against the West when the West is ill, the West is injured, and also including like balloon espionage, setting up police stations, secret police stations. Actually, I've been hosting different shows talking about, the indictment from Eastern District of New York, that how those 34 and 40 secret police officers being indicted, and 2 were arrested by just running secret police stations in New York City. And, all those items, actually, I believe we've been covering that. And the most important thing is that we want to warn the world and the U.S. Is that this is like a package of, actions representing the philosophy of warfare. that CCP has for the past 2-3 decades, which we always mention, we always emphasize, which is the unrestricted warfare, right? They have the unrestricted advantage against the U.S. that they would use anything, they would use any methods to attack the U.S. and the world, and also to gain its own advantage, like where they cannot gain through the kinetic warfare or hot warfare, we call it, because they found 20 years ago after Gulf War, they can never win the kinetic warfare against the West. So now they have a completely new, more sneaky and more dangerous package of ideas or like action plans to execute.
It's funny you say that, Roy. You mentioned the police station, some of the court case. I've been dying to ask, because the other day I saw an article come across about some guys that were arrested, and I was reading the court documents, and they mentioned Project Fox Hunt and Project Skynet. And I'm like, well, those are kind of dubious names. So I start going down the rabbit hole, and I'm like, holy crap, this is huge. Are you familiar with what Project Fox Hunt and Skynet are and kind of how they're using it?
Yeah, definitely. Because, the supporters and members of New Federal State of China, a whistleblower movement, and especially the founder of New Federal State of China, Miles Guo, we are the CCP enemy number one, especially Miles. He's the CCP enemy number one target. And we suffer this since he's actually started this movement, right? And if you look at all the indictments, if you look at all the stories, those CCP like police officers operating police station here, like on American soil, is that like the way they set it up is they also have a combination of action plans. For example, they would go after you online, they would troll you, they would like threaten you because you have families and friends and connections inside China, right? Because imagine, like, I'm a Chinese citizen here in the United States. If I go to China, I'd be disappeared in 1 second, right? They would threaten, they would coerce, they would say, oh, look, your parents know what you're doing, your parents are in danger, like, come, go back to China and we can discuss about this. And then if I go back, I'd be disappeared, I'd be silenced, I'd be killed, or I'd be thrown in jail, right? And that's their goal. And also they have this different like shifts of groups, and then they have leaders, they have a clear structure, they have clear goals, and they took orders directly from the Ministry of Public Security, which is the head of all the police officers in CCP China. So that's a very good example and evidence that all the Chinese Americans and also the Chinese citizens here, we don't have the freedom. We don't have the free, rule of law that protect us, because like CCP is basically exercising their their law enforcement right here, which is
it's an official government thing.
Yeah,
where like they're staffing these police stations to track down Chinese dissidents.
Yes,
in America.
Yes, and imagine like those two police officers were indicted and were arrested. They were out like on the same day.
Right.
They had a bond, like I think the price was like $250,000, and then they're never a danger to community. They never have flight risk considered by the judge. They're just out. And all those different police officers and the police stations I'm talking about, the 30 something police stations, they're just in New York City, or they're just in 34 police officers, and they're just from one CCP China province, which is Fujian province, Fuzhou City, and they have 40 police officers. What about other provinces? What about like other states in the United States? And what about the whole world? What about like in Europe, right? In Japan, Australia, Canada, it's worse.
Well, one of the things that I remember that we have learned is about Taiwan, and how They are the democratic side of what China is. I'm really starting to worry about them because she seems to, I mean, on one hand, we're getting information, and I don't know whether that's our media or what, but on one hand, we're getting the information that Xi looks like he's in trouble. But then we see him on the military almost like flexing their muscle. Like it's almost like they're trying to provoke or they're trying to send a message to Taiwan. If anything really goes down, do you think Taiwan could hold back the CCP?
Well, unfortunately, I think Taiwan now is so dangerous. The war probably going to happen in any time if they're not ready or they don't have the precautious measurement. Because look, in Xi's mind, this is his life goal, to take over Taiwan, to become the superpower in China and in Asia, and also take down the United States and the West, right? This is his life goal. Right. And he's thinking this way like 20, 30 years ago, right? And the real danger is that like China probably, CCP probably just intentionally burst the economical bubble right now. Like it caused the financial crisis globally, right? And then now like we see what happened after the COVID mandate and lockdown, and the economy is going down and the inflation is surging, and also the vaccine injuries, right? People are dying, people are getting injured, right? People are falling down on stage or on stadium and on live television, on camera, like all the time. And young athletes, right? And the people would fight against the government in the West, like not just United States, but in the West, people would just fight against America. Like there would be lawsuits, there will be turmoil, there will be chaoses. This is what Xi Jinping is waiting for his life, right? When there's chaos inside, the society, inside Western society, this is a perfect timing for him to actually start a war and to take over Taiwan. And also look at the incidents now happening in Russia and between Russia and Ukraine, and then also like in North Korea, right? It's to stir up the regional, chaoses and stir up the conflicts and disputes, and also it had so many different tactics and methods to, prepare for the war. For example, they could start. Actually, they've already started to build the P3 lab in different countries in Middle East, Iran and Saudi Arabia. They've already started to deploy the missile stations and deploy missile in countries like Venezuela and Cuba and South America and Middle East, right? And they've already started the political and military infiltration against those countries. Those are all war preparation.
They are. Wayne and I talked to John Bolton about that subject, and he verified everything you just said a couple years ago about Venezuela and other things. But I'd love to next week to go a little bit deeper into New Zealand or into Taiwan. We don't have enough time to do it now, but like the whole history of Chiang Kai-shek and the Civil War and them moving to what was then called Formosa, and the absolute, almost impossible amphibious invasion that would, if they tried to attempt it there. I mean, we even analyzed that in World War II, that is not a place to invade ambitiously. Amphibiously. But talking about what you just said, I've been meaning to ask you about this with the COVID vaccine deaths and injuries. Is there any that you know of involvement between the CCP and Big Pharma? Because it would almost have to, for that to be something that was done on purpose, the Big Pharma would have to be in on it. So I just wonder, is there any connection between, say, Pfizer, who's funding all our media, by the way, all our pro-vax media, and Moderna and the other ones, and any agency within the CCP?
Yeah, of course. Look, yesterday I saw a really interesting meme it says like 97% of the scientists just say whoever pays them, and then the 3% scientists just say something true, but they got banned by the social media. So we're like the 0.01% who insist on speaking about the truth of vaccine and the vaccine injuries and death, right? Remember, like last year, like when we started to talk about, or the year before, when Miles first started to talk about this, all the social media banned us. Right. Whenever, like, they use the speech recognition technology on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, like whenever we talk about vaccine, whenever we talk about it in Chinese or in English, we got banned, we got labeled, we got like our accounts are gone, right? So and this is what happened for the past 2 years. And had they not banned us, had they not inferior with the people who are speaking about the truth, how many more lives could we save, right? Just think about that. Mm-hmm. And there's no economic benefits for us to speak against the vaccine, right, unless we saw the truth, unless we have the hard evidence, we have the hard intelligence from inside the Chinese Communist Party or even from the P4 lab. And remember also that the technology, gain of function technology, is funded by the United States, but funded by people like Fauci, right? Like I said last time, if you investigate in the sexual and personal relationship between the general director of the P4 lab, Wuhan P4 lab, Wang Yanyi, and Anthony Fauci, and their financial connections, you'll find all the answers. Right.
You know, it's funny. I like that idea for next week where we do a little diving into Taiwan, because that's a fascinating conversation. But as we kind of wrap up for this week, and you mentioned lack of stability in kind of that Pacific Rim, I was seeing where China's sending its first delegation to visit North Korea and the Rocket Man for the first time since the pandemic. Wow. Is there something? What's going on there? Where do you see that going?
Well, look. First of all, like North Korea and China, they kind of set an example for the world, like how to actually deal with COVID. But lots of what it implies, actually, from my understanding, is that like they actually control people very well, right? Lots of dictators around the world, they really admire what President Xi and President Kim Jong-un has been doing and has been enjoying their dictatorship and their power, because nobody really marched on the street about like a mask or mandates and lockdowns and vaccine mandates, right? Because whoever disagreed, they got starved to death, or they just got killed or got imprisoned. But now, like, since like they started to open up, it started to at least we see it on media that they started to work closer together again. Like I said, it's from my point of view, it's a dangerous signal to Taiwan, because, like I said, like North Korea has always been CCP's like running dog to stir up the regional conflicts, and it's targeting Japan and South Korea and Asia in general, and South China Sea. So it's kind of a strategic like running dog, like partner for the Chinese Communist Party. So this is kind of, I think it's a bad signal, and also, well, it's something we really need to look at from a higher perspective, that how CCP is preparing this war for decades, like I said, and how what methods they use. We call it unrestricted warfare, to actually prepare for this moment.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah, like the fellow said, we want to get a little bit more into the Taiwan with you next week, because I really worry about them, man. Because, for a while there, I really didn't understand what Taiwan was and why and whatnot. But then when you hear about their democracy and how Taiwan is basically like the United States in a way, and the CCP is trying to get rid of that or silence them, if you listen to my boys, we really don't have a lot to even send over there to help them. So, I mean, I don't know how they would defend themselves. You know, if we aren't there to really, because all the other countries just play catch up. They really aren't ready militarily. You know, they talk a good game, but they really don't really do anything. But yeah, I think we need to check into that with you next week. Let everybody know how they can support the new federal state of China. And
you guys can follow the handle NFIC Speaks on Getter and Twitter. And also you can go to nficofficial.com. That's our official website. You can see all the receipts and documents, and also you can see all the articles and video clips and translated, put out nicely. So you can find everything on those platforms.
Roy, I do appreciate you taking out of your time and schedule to join us, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Roy.
Thanks, Roy. Have a good weekend.
When I invented MyPillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size MyPillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at MyPillow,
thanks, America! We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. Act swiftly, 833-287-2465.
Welcome back to the show.
You did a Biden, man. My fault.
I did.
Oh, you were like.
Wayne got some of that Joe Biden. What do we call that? The Biden juice or something? That sounds creepy.
Oh boy.
That's
big pharma for you.
I'm connected to disclose.tv. I like how they break news and stuff sometimes. And this is they have this just in Facebook and Instagram's quote censored post because of unconstitutional pressure from the Biden White House Judiciary Committee chairman reveals after obtaining internal records. This basically Mark and Cheryl. Mark and Cheryl. We are seeking your guidance on whether to take more aggressive action against certain vaccine discouraging content. Hold on for a second. Bye, YouTube.